Hello guys, welcome to Gongura Guidance once again. This is a video which I am going to talk about essay how to score very well, at least around 130 marks in essay. This is my name, little bit about myself and my dedications. And whatever I'm going to tell you in this series, I've learned from DK Balaji sir's Insight Essay Perspective series, which is freely available on YouTube. Also, I've learned many of tips from Vikas Ranjan sir's. He's available at Triumph Institute. And Sandeep Maheshwari sir's YouTube video, where he talks about essay, how to attempt, what are the structure that is going to be in essay. And majorly, I have incorporated amalgamation of all these three and the structure and skeleton, especially from Gautam Vivekanandan sir's uh, free UPSC material available on Vision website. So he's actually 2022's highest scorer in essay marks. He got around 150. So I'll be showing you his copy also to break down what specifically strategy he is trying to incorporate into framing a very good essay. So basically this is the theme of this video, to how to score around 130 marks in essay. And before starting, just straight away understand why it is important. The previous trend suggests that there is huge variation in essay marks. Some toppers even got 70. If they would have gotten better marks, they would have definitely got highest. But because of essay, there is huge variation. As I have said, the highest marks is around 150, and even some toppers are getting 70 also. That much huge variation is there. And yes, essay do have syllabus. It is very short. I'll be telling you what essay syllabus exactly is. We can understand it based on previous year questions. There are some few UPSC favorite topics. I'll show you them. And SO anyways also gives you to be unique and make your paper stand out apart from others. And one of the best thing I like about essay is you don't need to join any test series, or you don't need to join any specific coaching or any other thing. You can just straight away watch the YouTube series that I've suggested in credits video, and you can watch this video and straight away start writing essays and show them to any of your trusted peers who can actually give you constructive criticism. Whatever you're thinking and writing, you have to understand whether the same idea is getting translated to the other person who is reading it. That is the most crucial thing in the essay. The other person need not be a UPSC aspirant. The other person need not be a English major literature. He has to be any sensible person who is able to read your essay and give you a constructive criticism. This is the most favorite part of essay preparation, is what I consider. You can even show it to your parents or any other who can give constructive criticism. And in the overall scheme also, essay gives you scope of scoring around 130. The highest marks, as I've said, goes till 150s, and the lowest marks of even the toppers, some toppers scored around 70s, who have been selected in 2022. So just understand how much variation is there. If you won't prepare it or neglect it, you'll be scoring like me in 2022. I scored around 100 marks. So I severely neglected essay paper for 2022 preparation, because I was scoring well in my previous attempts. I was scoring around 120s and 115s. I've never gone below 115. So I made this mistake of neglecting the essay paper and gone for extreme value addition. I collected so many poems. I collected so many quotes. I collected so many speeches, and I tried to incorporate all those value addition thing in the essay, and completely forgot about the core demand of the essay, which is the basic reasons why an essay is going. That quote, whatever you have chosen, is how it is translating into reality. Is the core essence of the essay. But apart from writing limited on the essay, I've written multiple quotes. I've quoted multiple speeches. I've used speeches in both the essays. I've used poems in both the essays. So extreme value addition I've done, which is also a bit detrimental, as I will show you. In Gautam Vivekanandan sir's copy, you need to have a judicious mix of both value addition and actual core arguments in your essay. So after getting a decimal marks of 101, actually exactly, so I've followed as all those things which I've shown you before. So I'm hoping for a better marks in this year 2023's mains. So we'll see. So whatever I'm going to be telling you is what my perspective of how to score, how to target scoring 130. So just keep that in mind. My 2022 marks were around exactly 101. Uh, so it will help you exactly in achieving or targeting 860, around 860 in mains, which will hugely help you to be in the top 50. So what I understood from observing all those things as I've suggested before is I've condensed it into the skeleton or flow of essay, how you should maintain the flow. So coming to the intro part, it shouldn't be more than 2 pages. It should be from 1.5 to 2 pages at max. And intro should contain, first of all, you need to understand the basic essence of the quote, whichever you have selected. So and whenever you are framing an intro, try to frame it in this format. There needs to be a hook which needs to catch straight away catch the attention of the examiner. It can be a poem, it can be 2 or 3 or maximum 4 lines of any famous speech, or it can be a question, like making the examiner think of any particular thing, like at least actively force him to think something, or it can be a very good quote. So any of things you can use actually in the hook. And then comes the explanation part of the hook. And basically in this explanation part, you are trying to link the hook with the theme of the essay, so that you are able to give the examiner that you have pretty much understood what the essay topic is about, and how you are going to explain it in the body part of the essay. And finally, there should be a thesis statement. This should be in very simple words, trying to explain what the essence of the actual quote is, and trying to, and also has should have a should contain um, any particular thing which you are going to justify in the body part of the essay. For example, if the essay is, I'll show you one essay which Gautam Vivekanandan sir wrote. It's about happiness. I'll show you his thesis statement, how he shows whether happiness is actually a destination or whether it is a path. Whether you can be happy while pursuing any destination in the path itself, or you will be happy after reaching the destination. In simpler words, he will be writing this in thesis statement, just rephrasing whatever is there. And one more thing which I want you to do is use the exact same words which the quote contains, and making and in the thesis statement, and simplify the quote using uh, easy to understand words along with the actual words contained in the quote. So whatever the quote is, that path, destination, happiness, all these things should get repeated in the thesis statement. For example, in 2023 essay, the one which I wrote was not all who wander or lost. So my thesis statement should definitely contain wandering, lost, how not all wanderers are lost, how they can, how people wander for multiple purposes. So it does not mean that most of the people who wander are not lost. So something on that lines. The thesis statement should be there. And finally, there should be a preface of the essay. It is a small paragraph on what the examiner is going to find in the body part of the essay, like how you are going to deal with the essay. In this, mostly it is on the lines of in this essay, we'll be exploring what exactly this means and why it is important, or whatever all these specific themes are there. You are trying to show in the preface of the essay, and this should be finished within 2 pages at max. And coming to the body of the essay, the most important part for which many of the I find that many people will get good marks is uh, the the crux of the essay, how that quote exactly translates into reality. So if it comes to the essay written by Gautam Vivekanand sir, in which I am going to show you, whether happiness is the path or whether happiness is the destination. So how he is going to justify that quote? How he is justifying it? So basically all the philosophy, the reasons why that quote gets translated into reality comes under this. How happiness can be a path also, what are the reasons why, and how happiness can be a destination also when it occurs, and all that philosophical part will come under this part. And if it comes to the essay that I wrote, how not all who wanders are lost, how many people wander for multiple reasons, something like exploring new places or for physical activity also. Some people wander, for some people wander for mental activity, getting away from all the tech zones and other things. Some people wander to find or explore new things or new places. Some people just wander to delve into spirituality like sadhus. All those arguments are going to come in the key part of the body, that is the quote. How this quote, how whatever quote you have chosen exactly translates into reality. But before that, in order to simplify the essay, the core theme of the essay should be to convey to the examiner as simple as it is possible. Don't try to justify it by simply giving examples across multiple themes. Uh, Many people nowadays, it has become famous to simply elaborate the essay into multiple dimensions, such as political example, economical example, social example, like how pastel approach goes, and even expanding it to multiple other arenas like international relations and temporal scale also, from ancient, medieval, modern. All that is fine. All that can actually be condensed and just shown simply in the main core part of the essay. But before the core part comes, you need to simplify it, and this is where what it is trying to justify what it is exactly helps. So if it comes to the happiness part, you need to examine what happiness is, how it can be a, what destination means, what path means, all that you can explain it, so that the examiner gets a very simplified understanding of what the quote says. And in my essay, how in this part I have written who are wanderers. Many people travel, but not all travelers are not wanderers. Someone who is traveling without a destination in mind or a place to reach is a wanderer. He doesn't have any particular destination to reach or any destination to finally finish his traveling part. So he's wandering without any specific path in mind. He doesn't have a fixed either path or a fixed destination to reach. So he is wanderer. And what is the meaning of getting lost? If you are getting lost, it means that you do not know where you are exactly standing, or if it is in a particular geographical location, or if it comes to life, where your life is heading to, where your destination is going to, and you know, also do not know how to reach the destination or how to take help in order to reach the destination. That is what exactly getting lost means. So if you straight away define what wandering is and what getting lost means, then you can easily or simplified in a simplified way show that how all wanderers are exactly not lost. Because just because he's wandering, it doesn't mean lost. He might not have a particular destination in mind. That is all fine because he's a wanderer. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't know how to reach whatever he's trying to reach. There can be multiple other ways. So if you just define what the exact keywords of the quote is, it will become simple. It will become relatively easier and simplified to make the examiner understand the other parts of the uh, essay. So in the first part of the body, define the keywords which are in the quote. And in 2023, there are other essays such as mm, and the mathematics is the music of reason. Then in this part, you need to define what is mathematics, what is reason, how mathematics is the music of reason, such things. I did not attempt that essay, it is a very difficult one, but I just remembered that quote, so I'm trying to tell you what all the keywords you need to define in what it is part. And then it comes, second comes the why it is important part. So if it comes to the happiness quote, the key value in the happiness quote is, apart from being whether it is a journey, path or destination, we need to understand why being happy is particularly important. So then then we'll be in a better position to define if so this is why happiness is important. So to pursue happiness, what is the way, whether path is the way or whether the destination is the way. So then it will be easier, it is like in a flow. So next this part becomes important. And if it comes to the wandering quote, uh, why wandering becomes important, you can uh, give one or two arguments at max, and you can justify what wandering or not lost here. Few paras on this, few paras on this, but the main core part comes under here. How not all wanderers are lost, that should be exactly written here. As I've said, people wander for multiple purposes. uh, People wandering just does not mean that they are lost. It might seem that they are traveling without a destination or without a specific path in mind, but it definitely does not mean that they are lost in whatever the travel itinerary they have planned, or in their life, or in any other pursuit which they are trying to do. So similarly, when it comes to the happiness quote also, Gautam Vivekanandan tries to show that whether how happiness can be a path also, and how happiness can be a destination also. In this main part, this should be the core and crux of the essay. And since it is an essay, you have the scope to write a proper antithesis also. This should be opposite to what the quote is exactly trying to convey. So when it comes to the happiness quote, mostly this will be on similar lines as in uh, actually both are important. So little bit antithesis can be avoided in such things, because there are already two parts in this. But how to inculcate being happy, you should definitely show, because after showing the essence of the quote, we are also trying to show antithesis. So in when it comes to the wanderer quote, you can write in antithesis how um, when actually going to the extremes in wandering, you can actually get lost. Like if you're not taking some basic necessary required things like food, water, or any other technological device like mobile to contact someone, if you actually get lost. Or and for the you can quote examples like how hippies, they start wandering to explore life, but after extreme wandering they get into drug culture, and they are actually getting lost in the pursuit of life. So such examples and such arguments you can actually show in the antithesis. And since you are showing the antithesis, you should also show that this is only an exception, and major things which are happening is according to the quote. And so the main value can be how to inculcate that main value, or which the quote is trying to uh, make you understand, or how you can improve that particular thing. So this comes at the end of the body. For example, if it comes to inculcating happiness, we can talk about various tools like being present uh, in the moment, or many other things which I'll be showing in the essay copy. And when it comes to the wandering quote, how to safely wander, you can try to write here by taking some necessary precautions, having even though you do not have destination in mind, you can have some basic idea of the geography or terrain, or wherever you are wandering, or if it comes to life, some understanding of key points which are necessary. Such things you can write here. And when it comes to the conclusion part, since we have written multiple dimensions, we have shown what it is, why it is important, how the quote exactly translates. We have shown the opposite view also, and we have also shown how to inculcate that specific value which the quote is trying to justify. We need to summarize it first. That in the key arguments can be summarized. And since we have shown antithesis, we need to write a one line or one para on synthesis also. Since we have shown that in some areas the quote exactly is not working, so how to synthesis will be on these lines of this is the way to safely try to find a golden mean, something sort of between happiness as a path or destination. So while keeping a destination in mind, we can also try to be happy along the path. Such can be a synthesis. Or if it comes to the if it comes to the wandering quote, synthesis can be on the lines of not all people who wander are exactly lost, but not taking some necessary precaution or some other things can actually make you to get lost. So synthesis will be on some lines of take these precautions so that you can safely wander and explore the geographical location or life or any other intellectual pursuit or business, whatever you are undertaking. So, and finally, whatever I want you to do is, since you are going on a circle with intro, hook, introduction, body, part, what it is, why it is, and how it translates everything. And when it comes to conclusion, also you need to somewhere connect it with the intro so that it gives a sense of completeness. Since whatever we have written in the intro, just once again remind the examiner that I've tried to show you just an intro of what is going to come. So since I've already shown what exactly is in the body part, now I'm once again reminding you that is how exactly what I was trying to tell you in the beginning of the essay, something on that lines. And then we can just give a small push forward. This can be on the lines of way forward. So something like positive steps taken. So all this is going to be our skeleton or flow of the essay. Any philosophical essay which you are going to write, try to write on these lines. In the introduction part, make sure you are writing a hook to grab the attention and explain it, aligning it to the whatever quote you have selected, and then simplify the quote and give its essence in the thesis statement, and then write essay on preface. Write a preface of essay in one paragraph, what the examiner is going to find in the next. And the body can be divided into simplifying definitions. No need to by heart any definitions, just writing it in simple words what the keywords in the quote are, and why whatever the quote, the moral that the quote is suggesting, why it is important, and how that quote is exactly getting translated into reality. In here you can show various dimensions, the temporal dimensions, and only through example part, ancient, medieval, modern, or in temporal dimension, or pestle approach, or there is another approach called FEPR, which is five basic institutions of society as per anthropological researches. FEPR is family, economy, polity, educational institutions, and finally religion. This is also similarly something sort of pestle only, but these are basically five basic institutions of a society. Or yeah, you can use such things, or you can also use individual, societal, national, international. Whatever you're using, you need to use only in this part. These part also become important, and you need not go into such things. Just go to the demand of whatever these things are. And in the conclusion, just summarize all the key arguments that I have showed in the essence of the quote, and just give a synthesis based on incorporating both thesis and antithesis. It is like a way for it is like a better translation of whatever the quote is, just addressing the antithesis part, and finally connect it with intro once again to show, remind the examiner that we have finished the whole essay into a complete circle. And then you can give a small push forward, something like now the lesson is clear. Happiness can be both a destination or path. Whatever you choose, the choice is yours, something on that line, just like a way forward. So again, in the wanderer code, something it can be on the lines of um, since the whole essay is about how we can safely wander, try to take up a few wandering experience with the necessary precautions and not getting lost. So wandering, not getting lost, everything should get repeated in all these parts. That is how you are able to stick close to the topic. One of the demand of essays, stick close to the topic. How can you stick close to the topic? You are repeating the keywords in each and every sub theme of our skeleton: wandering, not getting lost, happiness, path, destination. All these things should keep on getting repeated. So that is going to be our skeleton of the essay. And finally, when it comes to that analysis of the code, the key essence part, as I've shown you in the body, where we are going to dedicate our maximum pages in writing this. Not all codes can be philosophical. Just try to understand. Uh, some quotes, such as not all wanderers are lost, such quotes, or happiness, whether it is a path or destiny, they are a bit philosophical. You need to give reasons showing exactly why that quote exactly gets translated into reality. So you need to basically give reasons or arguments on that line. It doesn't help to write based simply on pestle approach or any other approach, like writing multiple examples and simply giving um, substantiation. If you give examples in multiple dimensions, it will only be it will only show the examiner that you have understood the quote, and you're showing various examples just to justify the quote. You won't be doing analysis or philosophical pursuit of the quote. For that part, every essay won't be suitable. But usually some essay quotes are on that line only. For example, especially the second part of this 2023 section, where the essay which I have wrote is whatever you have learnt in education, after whatever you have forgot, whatever you have learnt in education, that is what exactly true education is, something on this lines. The sense is on that lines. So that is already is like an explanation part. So the quote itself is trying to explain something. So since it is already trying to explain something, you need not re-explain it in multiple dimensions. So you need to open up and show, yes, it is exactly happening in multiple dimensions. There, in such kind of quotes, this dimension issues will actually help. Pestle approach or FEPR approach, as I've said, or individual, family, societal, national, international level, or family, education, economy, polity, education, religion, institutions, or again pestle, polity, economy, social, technological, environmental, legal. You can expand it to many other even further dimensions, but just try to understand whether the quote is more philosophical or more explanatory, so that you can use these approaches, or you can use reasons or arguments. But it comes to the only the core essence part only. The introduction will be as I have showed, and the starting will be basic simplifying the keywords, what it is, and then showing why that specific value or quality that the quote is trying to stress, why it is important. And third, in the core essence part, you can judge the quote whether it is philosophical or explanatory, and then go on these dimensions. And then once again you have to show antithesis, and then show how you can inculcate that specific moral in your life. And then in for the conclusion part, again it's on the same as first summarize, then show give the synthesis part, removing the negative qualities of the code, or where the code exactly does not apply, removing that, or giving some suggestions on how to handle in those situations. And then finally link it to the once again introduction part of the essay, and just give a way forward, something like a direction to the examiner or whoever is reading the code. And one more thing, since we are mostly going to write reasons or in these dimensions, it is better to simply incorporate in this specific part, this firstly or first and foremost, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, or how many arguments you are writing, and lastly whatever it is. So this will actually help in this part, so that it remains that whoever is reading will get an idea that you have already thought about it, you have some few specific reasons in mind, and you have exactly framed them in this order. So it gives a nice impression. And the next what I want to stress on you is the skeleton or structure of each para which you are trying to frame. Please do not randomly create paras just because it is getting too short or too lengthy. A para should be on the lines of one specific argument. Once again, I'll show, after explaining all this, I'll show you Gautam Vivekananda's copy and how he beautifully incorporates all these that I'm trying to say in his essay. So any para, unless it is the first para, it should start with an opening phrase, which can be a connector or phrasal sentence. These are something on the lines of also, similarly, moreover, as explained, or if it is coming to the antithesis part, you can however, this is not the case, or however, as everything is not black and white. So the such things can be exactly used in the connector or phrasal sentences, depending on what where we are going. This is the key part which will actually give the flow to your essay. Flow comes from two things. One is our the skeleton part, like how we are going step by step throughout the essay, and within the steps also how we are maintaining the connection with the previous para using these phrasal sentences or connectors. Moreover, also simply simplifying this, or for example, to illustrate this, similarly these lines, you can use numerous phrasal sentences. Just don't use the same phrasal sentence again and again. Like in every para, it should not be like also. It should be like also, similarly, moreover, once again, or if it comes to the end, is what, however, as in such way. And the paragraph should start with an opener, and then in the first line itself, the examiner should understand what the key idea of the para is. This is not necessarily the case, but it is easier to do this way. So I did it this way. If you like it, you can try to incorporate. Gautam sir actually jumbles multiple times because he has, I think he has very good vocabulary command. So he can start with this, end with this, have it in the middle, or he can start with this and middle in the middle this. He uses all types, but I found it easier to frame a better para on this lines opening and the key idea of para, and compulsorily box it. This key idea is whatever that argument you are going to exactly show. For example, if happiness is the path, you can use a key idea of carpe diem, like how sir has used, which means the seizing the moment. It is one of the tools to actually be happy during the path itself. So he'll write something like uh, or moreover, while while being happy in the path, the concept of carpe diem becomes important, and I want you to box this carpe diem key part so that it is clearly visible. Rest all things you can underline, but this keyword idea, please box it. And the next sentence should be an explanation of the key idea. Since you have shown this is one of the argument that I'm going to give in this para, the explanation connecting it to the actual quote comes in this explanation of the key idea part. So you need to connect it to the quote. Again, connecting it to the quote means you have to use the keywords which are exactly in the quote: happiness, path, destination, or wandering, not lost, something on these lines. So this will exactly make your each para as close to the topic, because sticking close to the topic is one of the key directions given by UPSC in its notification. And the other thing is having coherence and flow. This coherence is flow is coming from the skeleton part, and this key phrasal sentences part. And finally, every argument after explanation should have a substantiation. Once again, this substantiation is what people stretch a lot more. Rather than giving arguments, they keep on giving examples which make the essay repetitive. The idea examiner will be like, okay, I got whatever you're trying to say. Rather than giving multiple examples explaining the same thing, why don't you tell me what it is exactly, why it is important, or how it is actually uh, translates, or something on the opposite lines or everything. So examples are becomes important. Not only examples, you should call it a substantiation, because you are just trying to substantiate whatever you are trying to argue. Simply arguing won't cut the won't give you marks. So after every argument, you need to explain how it is relating to the topic. That it comes under the explanation of the key idea, and then you need to substantiate it with something. And that something can be any concept of thinker, like how the carpe diem of happiness part is, and any key idea of any book. That is why you need to collect some key thinkers concepts which you can use in multiple themes. You need to collect some key ideas of books. You need to collect some codes on multiple themes which are UPSC's favorite topics, or any case study or best practice that is going on in the world. You can use your GS knowledge here also, and you can anyways quote any exact example in history, modern, medieval, ancient. or in societal, family, anything, any example you can use. Just try to use various things so that you are not simply using only the examples part. You can use these also, and you cannot remember these unless you have prepared them before. I'll be also sharing some of the things which I've collected with you. So if you find them useful, please use it. So one para should contain opener to maintain flow, and the key idea should be there in the first part itself, and you need to explain in how that key idea is actually related to the quote, and you need to substantiate it with any of these things. So again, coming to Gautam Vivekanandan sir's copy, this is freely available on Vision website. Just try to see. See, this is the hook that I'm trying to talk about. He uses poems, and his optional is English literature. So I'm pretty sure he has multiple collections of various poems for any theme which he is going to write. So for the happiness path and destination, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. Uh, he used the poem of Robert Frost, "The Road Not Taken." This is a famous poem. He used it as hook. Just make sure that hook is small. If you're trying to write speeches, don't write the whole speech. This is exactly the mistake that I have did. I by hearted Martin Luther King's speech. I by hearted Nehru's Tryst with Destiny speech. I by hearted Hillary Clinton's women's rights are human rights, that speech, and I've used Tryst with Destiny speech, and I've written too much, so it won't help in making the examiner understand the essay. That is why you can see I got only average marks 101. Otherwise, maybe who knows, I would have gotten the coveted service. So anyways, leave it. So just see the hook part. This is the hook part, and immediately see this. He's trying to show these wonderful lines of Robert Frost pose a peculiar question. He's trying to explain how this hook is related to the quote. Is the road less traveled the road to happiness, or is it the path of happiness? So he's trying to show how the quote is exactly explanation or relating to the quote, how the hook is relating to the quote. And now coming to his thesis statement, he says, in other words, or you can use in simpler words, or rephrasing the quote or something on that lines. This is the connector once again, and he's saying, is happiness the way of life? Is it a means to achieve some end, or is there a path to happiness? Is happiness the end goal, like destination, as I'm trying to say? This is his thesis statement, and this is his preface of essay. He's saying, how, see this connector he used, however. Before answering those questions, it is important to understand what happiness truly is. This is what I'm trying to say. What first body part, which I have shown, what that key quote exactly is, and why it is important. In this essay, it is what happiness is, why it is important to be happy. So just see, in one page and 1.5 page, he finished the intro. From here on, body part is starting. You can this is you can either use this one to 1.5 page, or one at max you can go till 2 pages. Don't just stretch your intro more than 2 pages, so that you will get very less space to justify the body part. So he finished it in 1/4 only, not even 1.5. But try not stretching it beyond 2 pages is what I suggest you. So again, coming to the what it is part, is simply defining it. Happiness in simple terms. See, he's trying to show the examiner that I'm defining happiness in very simple terms. So leave whatever he's trying to define it happiness is. You can define it in whatever way you decide. Again, coming to the next para, see how he is using connectors. Moreover, and this is the key argument in this essay which he is going to talk about. In this essay, in this not essay, in this paragraph, he started with a connector. In the first line itself, he is trying to show the key argument that happiness is not itself visible. Happiness can be felt or something internal also. So the key argument which is showing in the first line itself is starting with a connector, showing that key argument that happiness is not itself visible. Just by if someone is smiling doesn't mean that he's happy. There are multiple ways to decide happiness, and this is the explanation part, the second line, relating it to the quote. It expresses itself through It is not itself clearly visible. It expresses itself through various actions or behaviors. And coming to the again substantiation part, for example, now he is trying to give an example of that key argument in this para. That a person who is content with what they have is yet an optimistic better tomorrow and can said to be happy. Again, another example. He's trying to give two examples in one para. Similarly, one who does not dwell too much upon the past or lives in the moment is a happy person. Adam and Eve. This is the substantiation part he's trying to do. He gave multiple arguments and he gave one substantiation. So he plays with the para aligning of the para because he is a English literature optional guy. So I want you to keep it simple. Just start with a connector, quote the key argument of that specific para, explain it and to align it to the demand of the quote, and then give a substantiation part through any thinker's concept or quote or case study or any other thing or any example you find of. Again, the connector. Now since he has defined what it is, now he is coming to the question of why it is important. Again, this is a connector and which also aligns with our next sub theme of body part. After defining what it is, now we are going to show why it is important. So he gives multiple arguments for it. Just try to understand how beautifully he's framing paras. Moreover, starting with a connector. Moreover, having said that, all his and I'm particularly not good at using these headings. I try to collect some good quotes for good heading titles. Do not simply write a heading just for the sake of writing it. It should be on the lines of some idiom or something indirect rather than being direct, is what I feel. Otherwise, it will simply look like more like a GS answer. You're giving a GS question as a heading and writing a 10 marker on GS, and in that way. Now coming to the core essence of this essay, how the quote exactly translates. The path is to have. He gave a heading as the path to happiness. He used the keywords of the quote itself. Again, he's using the connectors. This is the key argument of his, and this is the explanation part of the key argument aligning to the quote itself. And the substantiation part, he's giving a book. See how he is using books, how he is using quotes. He uses quotes also. He uses books. He uses thinkers' concepts like carpe diem. He uses examples. He uses best case studies. Just try to replicate what toppers are trying to do. He got 150 marks. If you incorporate this, who knows, you can even get good marks. So again, connector concept, it means matlab, he is trying to explain it and align it to the core demand, and he is giving a substantiation. In every para you can find this wholesomeness of each para. A para has starts with a connector and it quotes the key argument of that specific subpara, specific para, and he aligns it with the demand of the overall quote, and he gives a substantiation. In fact, it simply poses as an obstacle or something. He even tries to give an argument as substantiation. That level of extreme command he has on things, but it's better to use simplified examples or books or quotes or any other things somewhat similar. Again, connector. Now he is using T.S. Eliot's Burnt Not, and this is basically substantiation part. He's straight away using it after connector only, and the key argument he is trying to give next, somewhat similar, is the concept that Nobel Prize winner T.S. Eliot puts forth in Burnt Norton. So he straight away gave a substantiation, and he's saying the key argument is, according to him, finding happiness is like finding a still point in this continuously moving world. This is the key argument. Then he tries to show this explanation, aligning it to the demand. It takes a pause from mundane life, appreciate the beauty around that. Taking key pause, whatever the key argument is, it like taking that still point is like a pause from mundane life, appreciating the beauty around that will surely lead to happiness. So there is no specific way that you have to use kind of argument at the start, then explanation next, and followed by substantiation only. You can use whatever way your feels comfortable. I'm just suggesting one way which is a little bit simplified. So again, connector, key argument, alignment, and just imagine a hypothetical scenario also is using as substantiation. Just imagine he's giving an substantiation part. So in that way, he covers this whole essay. This is the second sub part of the core essence part, whether happiness as the happiness is as the path itself. Again, on similar lines, you can find out connectors at the societal level. See, in the main part only, he's using the societal things. He's not using pestle approach from straight away from the start of the essay. Just keep on giving multiple examples. He is using the pestle approach only in the key core essence of the essay, societal level or national level. Connectors he regularly uses. This is exact thing is what maintains flow in the essay. So now he coming to the conclusion part. Again, conclusion should not be more than 1.5 page or 2 pages. Maximum one and a half two, at maximum 2 pages only, not more than that. The main marks you are going to get in the essays from body part and especially the essence part. How that quote exactly gets translated into reality. So how beautifully he starts with the connector. By this point, it is quite evident that. So he's trying to show that I have argued a lot. By this point, it is already quite evident. I'm sorry. It is quite evident that the dichotomy of happiness as the path or as an end could be a reality. So this is what is basically exactly the summary part of the conclusion which I'm talking about. This is the connector. He's trying to summarize the dichotomy of happiness is it can be a path and it can be a an end or destination also. However, he's trying. This is the push forward part is what he doesn't frame it in a specific sequence. He can use it in any other way. He's like he has a history English literature is optional, so he's pretty high level in this. However, in any case, remembering the words of Dr. Kalam, so he's using a quote to push forward. This is actually when see how innovative has it become also. This is actually when there is righteousness in your heart, there is harmony in home. He removed the righteousness with happiness. He replaced it with happiness and tried to align with the demand of the court. He's trying to push forward to take happiness from one individual to home to overall societal level. This is the push forward part I'm trying to talk about, and then giving it one line on synthesis also, so one can understand that be it the way of life or an end goal, happiness is the key. This is the synthesis he's trying to do. Don't keep on arguing whether it is a path or destination. Be it path or destination, happiness is the key is the synthesis part which he tried to frame for this. And again, connecting with intro part, perhaps the road taken by Robert Frost too was a combination of both. So he's trying to again show the examiner. See, I've told you at the start that poem on Robert Frost, how he's making a choice between which road to take, whether it is a path or destination or something on that lines. Again, he's trying to connect it with the intro and giving it a nice conclusion. This is how to write an essay on and become the topper, perhaps. So yeah, again the next essay is also similar lines. Gentle persuasion succeeds where force fails. This is exactly this is what I'm trying to show. The first essay is on philosophical side where you have to give lot of arguments. This is gentle persuasion succeeds where force fails. He's already trying to explain that where force fails, gentle persuasion tries. You can show why gentle persuasion succeeds and all, but it is more on the lines of using pestle approach. You can show how gentle persuasion has actually worked in multiple various fields in that core part only. But the initial should be on the same lines. Intro should be as per hook, explaining and to the demand, and then thesis statement, and then some preface statement. And then again coming to the body, you need to explain the keywords. You need to explain what for persuasion is, what force is, and yeah, these are the two keywords in it, and why persuasion is important. And then again you can in the core part you need to show how gentle persuasion succeeds. You can give a few arguments on how why gentle persuasion succeeds, and then explain it in multiple dimensions: political, economical, social, technological, or individual, societal level, national level, or in any other way which you feel like FEPR, family institution, educational institution, economy, polity, such institutions. So once again, here he's trying to use a historical example as a hook. He straight away shows that Ahmedabad quotes the Ahmedabad mill strike. Is showing that Ahmedabad mill strike of 1918 was a page turner in India's freedom struggle. This is the hook. It straight away shows makes the examiner think, okay, this is the hook he's trying to talk about. Ahmedabad mill strike. Let me see how he's aligning it to the demand. This is the explanation part. He's aligning this hook with the quote of the essay. And once again, the thesis statement which he's trying to do is this incident throws a valuable lesson. Again, similarly to the first part, he's trying to show the essence of the quote in the thesis statement. It highlights how persuasion succeeds where violence fails. And once again, after thesis statement, it is he excluded the preface statement. If you feel like you can write, it is better to write, is what I feel. But somehow he excluded it here, and straight away he went to what it is. He's defining what persuasion is, uh, and next he's going to the what it is not part. Rather than showing why it is important, he's again innovative. He's trying to show what it is not. He doesn't have a particular skeleton or anything in mind. He's going with his, maybe he has, but what I'm understanding from this is he has a innate capability because of his English literature is optional, I guess, is what I feel. But since we are not such people, we are people with other optionals, or we have never written good essays in our life. It is better if we stick to why persuasion is important part. He wrote what persuasion is actually not. Basically, he's trying to differentiate it with coercion or manipulation or such other negative things. See, coercion, doping, blackmail, such things he's trying to differentiate it from. And then the core part, how the quote exactly translates. The reasons why gentle persuasion succeeds is trying to show both psychological and social dimensions. See, this is what I'm trying to say. At the individual level, he's trying to differentiate it into individual, family, society, national, international, such levels. And once again, the paraframing he is consistent within him. He starts with the connector at the individual level, then he shows the key argument. I want you to box it so that this key argument in every para is clearly visible. Other things like substantiation you can underline, but box the key argument. And then see, explanation, he again wrote it at the end. Substantiation, he wrote it in the middle. He jumbles, he uses innovative ways. You can try to do it or keep it simple. And the societal part he's trying to quote some effects, bandwagon effects, as key examples, and key concepts, and selfie with daughter, such campaigns which he has studied in GS as substantiation part examples. So just try to download his copy from Vision website, or I'll be also posting this in the video. Just try to see how innovatively he writes essays. Again, connector, okay, the dimension which is going to show. See the connectors which is using time and again, for furthermore, moreover, similarly, also. So such things, observe them. And let's straight away come to the conclusion part, how he concludes this. So for the antithesis, one more thing I want to show is antithesis doesn't mean exact opposite of the quote also. Antithesis can be on the lines of, if since this is a more explanatory essay, antithesis is trying to write it on GS lines. He is trying to write challenges or issues that gentle persuasion may face as antithesis part, and trying to, and he is using the firstly, secondly, thirdly, which I've talked about. But I feel that it's better to use this firstly, secondly, thirdly in during the core essence of the essay, where the main marks exactly of the essay lie. Uh, so, and he gave only two challenges. It doesn't matter now the number of things you are giving, because he is trying to explain them properly. It can be two or three also, that is enough. And for the way forward, as the conclusion part, he's trying to give the solution. First, he wrote antithesis as challenges, and he's trying to give the conclusion as way forward, on GS lines. Solution to this lies in some effective persuasion. He's trying to show that this is more on the synthesis lines. Gentle persuasion is might not be a better term, but he's trying to create a new term, which is effective persuasion, on the lines of synthesis part. He's giving some arguments, right personality, and many examples. All these he most likely he learned it from GS preparation only. And finally, he's summarizing it. His this conclusion is a bit limited. I want you to see his conclusion of the previous essay only and try to understand. So, quick summarizing what I'm trying to say. In the intro part, keep a hook, give explanation of that hook, aligning it to the demand of the quote. Then write a thesis statement which you are going to prove in the essay, and write a preface statement where what the examiner is going to get. That will finish your intro. Coming to the body part, explain the keywords of the quote, what it is, and explain why that key moral which the quote is trying to show is important. That comes the second sub theme. And third sub theme is the core sub theme, how that quote exactly translates into reality. Then comes the antithesis part, and then comes few measures on how to inculcate that more valuable thing, or how to improve that thing. And when it comes to the conclusion part, I want you to summarize the core essence into one line, and then write a synthesis part, just combining both the thesis and antithesis, a better way of the quote. And then after the synthesis, try to connect it to the introduction, whatever you have written, so that to give the complete circle, to finish a complete circle, and then give a small push a little bit way forward. So, when it comes to exactly how to attempt the essay paper, this is exactly when you're going to write the essay paper on the on the UPSC examination date. The first and foremost thing I want you to do is the selection of the topic. The selection of the topic is the key thing. They'll give you paper exactly 5 minutes before. You have 5 minutes to exactly select the paper, and 3 hours to write. So in that 5 minutes paper, what you should be doing is reading the quotes and trying to figure out the exactly the core part where uh, most of the marks lie. That core part, central part, which I'm trying to show, how that quote exactly translates into reality. That if it is a philosophical quote, what are the reasons why? What are the philosophical reasons why that quote is getting translated into reality? Or if it is something on the explanatory quote, in various examples or arguments on multiple dimensions, how you can show exactly that how that quote is exactly getting translated into reality. So you need to find out those. If you're getting 4 5 good arguments on that, you can that you are comfortable in that topic, you can always find, based on your preparation, you can always find the other simple parts, what are the definitions of key concepts, or why it is important, or antithesis, or all that you can all anyways frame. But the core thing which should be is most comfortable thing. You need to be most comfortable, and when you will be most comfortable is when you have an idea of what you are going to write in that core theme part. And when it is not good to select is, you just got one few good examples on that code, so selecting the topic is bad actually. And you have a very good intro aligned to that code, then also you shouldn't select. And we have very good conclusion or similarly on that lines, these won't fetch you marks, but the core essence part will actually fetch you marks. So you should be selecting topic on the most comfortable thing. uh, that is the how understanding part. And if you are, and one more thing is, since some codes are easy, many people are going to write exactly the same thing. So if you are willing to safely risk, write a better essay on something which is selected limited by limited number of people. For example, Gautam Vivekanandan sir wrote a quote on poets. There is a quote on 2022 essay. I exactly do not remember, but it is something on the lines of poets. Yeah, I remember. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. So most of the people don't know many poets, don't know their poems. He was from English optional literature, and he selected it, and I feel it is one of the reasons for which he got very high score. So if you are willing to risk, you need to risk it safely. So rather than taking the most toughest essay, you can rate essays into difficulty wise, first, second, third, fourth, and you can choose the second most easiest code rather than straight away choosing the most easiest code. This is a little bit on the lines of safely risking. Second most comfortable, but definitely you should have an understanding or the understanding of the code. Do not select just because it is a bit difficult. Select it because it is difficult and you have exactly understood it. You are comfortable in that writing that code. So this is the crucial thing. And timing of the essay, you need to in the first 5 minutes you need to select both the topics, and in the first 20 minutes brainstorm the first essay. Do not write straight away, start writing essay, brainstorm it for 20 minutes. That is trying to find that arguments in what it is, trying to show why it is important, and the core part, how that exactly gets translated into reality. Some arguments on antithesis, some arguments on how to inculcate it, and after doing body only, then try to frame an intro so that you have a better understanding, and then you'll be framing the intro, and finally frame conclusion also. So that you should be doing in the 20 minutes part, and you need to take 1 or 10 minutes for just writing the essay. For example, for some unforeseen reason, if you are going to exceed this 1 or 10 minutes, straight away start cutting time from the brainstorming part of second essay. This is why I don't want you to do straight away brainstorm both the essays and then start writing. Please brainstorm one essay, then write, and then brainstorm the second essay and then write. Because if it exceeds, you can always reduce time in this part. Uh, so this is what I want you to do in this manner. And one more thing I want you to do is first count the pages. Sometimes previously they used to give 14 pages. Now they have reduced it to 12. For in unforeseen future, if they reduce it to 10, you need to reduce that much part. So just count the pages, how many they are there. And one thing which I want you to do is there will be four quotes on these lines. What the most blunder which a people can commit is not either ticking or not writing the question number as the essay part, or not keeping that essay as heading. They'll straight away start writing the essay. So it is a big blunder is what I feel. There is a chance of you getting 0 marks also even after writing the whole essay. So first tick the topic, write that number of the essay. I think it's on ABCD lines. So if it is on 1, 2, 3, 4 or ABCD, write it on the margin and keep that theme as a heading. Straight away write the quote as a heading. Please do all these things. Do not straight away write the essay. And this is what I'm trying to say. Tick the essay, write number or alphabet or whatever it is, and keep that quote as heading. And brainstorming, you need to first brainstorm the body part, and then the intro part, and then the conclusion part. Roughly, you can use 1 page on explain what it is, 1.5 on this, 3 to 3.5. More number of pages should be dedicated here only. 1.5 on this, 1.5 on this. Intro can be 1.5, maximum 2, 1.5. These are not strict things, but roughly breaking it down, this helped me. So this is what I'm trying to show. So now what you should do is, after watching this video, you should watch this video. On the course of your preparation, try to collect some important poems. I'll be also sharing few poems which I collected, some important good anecdotes. As per UPSC favorite topics, there are few favorite topics which UPSC asks, like how to self improve, or how to be resilient, or how to persist, pursuance part, and how to bounce back from failures. Such things are UPSC's favorite topics. So collect some connectors also, moreover, and collect some nice headings. I'll be sharing whatever I collected, but I'm not good at using this, so I didn't use only. Even though I collected, I'll just share with you. And brainstorm UPSC related topics, especially DK Balaji sir's UPSC essay series. Please do watch it. It's really available on YouTube. It helped me a lot. I think it will help you also. And try to add new dimensions in examples part only. Don't just simply give new dimensions as paras. Just give examples from various dimensions to the arguments or reasons which you are giving. Multiple dimension. Don't simply quote examples from similar theme. And this is the beautiful part of essay preparation. You can always show to any third person. They doesn't have to be UPSC aspirants or a UPSC coaching institute person or anything. You just show them your essay and just ask them if they are able to understand what you are trying to say. They'll give you very good insights. So this is from me. Thank you. And disclaimer is that don't just watch this video and leave it here. Do whatever I've suggested you to do. Start collecting and start brainstorming. Thank you.